Alright lads, so in less than 48 hours time, 1000 Year Blood War Round 7 featuring Ichibe, Oetsu, and also Orihime are going to receive their resurrections. And as always, before the characters do resurrect, let's have a look back at the characters when they first released. What was the circumstance of the characters, and how did the community react to the characters when they were first announced? I mean, after all, this was a massive banner upon release. While it was true we had 1000 Year Blood War characters, we never received 1000 Year Blood War characters that were exclusively only in the manga. And it was only until round 7 where this changed and overall changed the direction for Bleach Brave Souls. So with that said, before they do resurrect, let's have a look back at 1000 Year Blood War round 7.
王族特務0番隊この世界のあらゆる黒はわしのものじゃ。土俵を立てて弔うてやろう。恩師が二度と生まれてこぬよ。天体殺掠。ここからが0番隊の戦いさ。雑魚に通らす道はねえ。頼むぞ、井上。はい。
So you would think our story begins December 26, 2019, when the characters officially get revealed on the Bankai livestream. But in this case, the circumstance surrounding their reveal was on the funny side, with many leaks, many surprises being spoiled days before. So in this case, let's actually rewind almost a year earlier, January 6, 2019. And it was on this day where we got a magazine page promoting New Year's Ichigo, the 2019 version. He recently just released, and alongside that, there was some also information regarding Khan for You World, which was revealed on the Bankai livestream a week prior. However, interestingly enough, right at the bottom of the page, there was 2 panels in particular of Squad Zero and Stammeter characters, alongside the text saying what characters will arrive next. And of course, with this, the community was super excited, and we were waiting, counting down the days for Squad Zero and Stammeter characters to officially get announced. Unfortunately, we had to wait quite a while. It got to the point that people thought that this really didn't mean anything. But 11 months later, December 19th, 2019, Soldex himself made a groundbreaking reveal. 2 new affiliations were just added to the game, of course setting up future characters. In this case, Squad Zero and also Quincy's. And that right there was all we needed. We knew they were coming. At this point in time, we were leading up to the end of the year, so we knew without a doubt either Quincy's or Squad Zero characters are going to be the end of year banner. With the Bankai livestream announced for December 26, we knew it was only a matter of time before they officially get revealed. What we didn't expect though was a trailer the next day. And this is one of the few examples of a teaser trailer for another trailer for a banner reveal. And in this case, it was a trailer dedicated solely to Squad Zero. And of course, given their status in the Bleach universe, it made sense they got given this treatment. The trailer itself was bigging up Squad Zero, and it was also the first time we heard Ichibe, as he was the one narrating this trailer. It was at this point we knew for certain that end of year was going to be Squad Zero, but we didn't know the exact characters. It didn't reveal any character, just besides the fact that Squad Zero characters are coming to Bleach Brave Souls. And then a day later, the trailer got leaked. This was an absolute roller coaster of 3 days, I'll tell you that. The trailer itself was very exciting and to this day is one of my favorite trailers. Starting off with the 1000 Year Blood War intro, showcasing that it's round 7, but then the trailer itself glitches out and counts down to number 0. The trailer itself starts off with Ichibe. Salt Bomb looked absolutely beautiful, was super excited to see the character in motion with voice acting. Same to be said for the second character, that being Oetsu. For most of the community, we were very surprised that these 2 characters were put together, considering that they are the most hyped of the 2. And then the third character, the most exciting of any Squad Zero character, Orihime? Was a very interesting choice that they included this character. No one saw this coming, but I guess she was a welcomed addition. The trailer itself confirmed the 3 new characters, but once more we still didn't really know what these characters would offer until the Bankai livestream, is what I'd like to say, because once more we had more leaks. Because on the 23rd of December, 2 days later, the 1000 Year Blood War website got updated, and with that we got to see the 3 new characters' attributes and a few screenshots of their strong attacks. In this case, we were able to tell that Ichibe would be a non-attack damage character, since he did lack recharge. He himself did have weaken on every attack except his SA3. Oetsu at the time was believed to be a strong attack character since he himself did have recharge built into the character's kit. He also appeared to have instant kill on his soul bomb, and then with Orihime, we saw that she had a shield and also heal, and a very bad strong attack 1. Finally though, days later, Bankai livestream on the 26th reveals the characters. Alongside that, it did showcase the voice actors themselves, also confirming the 3 other Squad Zero characters and who will be voice acting those characters. Of course, this was a big thing, and these voice actors are also reprising their roles for the 1000-year Blood War anime. The final date of 2019, the 3 characters released with a lot of excitement built up for them. There was some disappointment that Ichibe was a Brave Battle character, but at the time he was the best character in the game, many designed to counter one of the more dominant characters in Brave Battles, that being Kanfuyu on World Noitora. Oetsu, to many people's surprise, was a no-attack damage character, and while that was initially disappointing, he was also the second character in the game to have guard break, the first melee character with guard break, a skill that was introduced months prior with Tokinada's release, and Oetsu was one of the more fun characters in the entire game, especially with the visuals that he did have. Orihime was a solid support character, was a tad bit disappointed that she was another power holo killer, which is something that we received many of in the past year, but overall it was a very solid banner. A lot of excitement was there, especially with Oetsu and Ichibe, and those are the main 2 characters that a lot of people summoned for. And that then takes us to today, the 11th of September 2023, over 3 years later, where Oetsu, Ichibe, and also Orihime herself are receiving new upgrades, which are scheduled to come out on the 13th. So before they do resurrect, let's have a look at the characters. So first up, of course, we have the #1 Zanpakuto creator himself, Oetsu Nimaiya. For starters, I absolutely love this character's model, and visually, he was one of the more fun characters in the entire game, which is why a lot of people did go for him, right? His SA1 was a lunge forwards, with like a nice little shadowy effect behind him. His SA2, great set of visuals, and also a self-surrounding vortex that's really good for a NAD character like himself, a mini NAD one at that. And then of course his SA3 is just a 4-screen attack. His nurturing in particular, at least to me, looked really cool. Like the vanishing effects, the shadow effect of the final hit, the speed of it too. He was easily one of the better characters in the entire game. At this point in time too, keep in mind, strong attack characters weren't super omega OP like they are now, so it allowed characters like this to somewhat compete despite him being a mini NAD character. Nowadays, you kind of have to have a lot more than just that, and it's also the reason why we barely receive NAD characters nowadays, at least ones that aren't just designed for Guild Quest in particular. As already mentioned, he was the second character in the game, first mini NAD character to have guard break on his attacks. So with that, he was just a super fun to play character, right? He was everyone's go-to character, and he almost didn't have anything bad about him, maybe besides the lack of poise. But what really sold the character, at least for me, was the voice acting. He is voiced by Speedwagon himself, and of course also the soul animation.
I am #1 Zanpakuto creator! Jamboku no katana wa hitofuri issatsu.
Like, it's such a cool special animation. Easily one of the best in the entire game still. It has a good mixture of just being comedic and also really serious at the same time, which perfectly encapsulates this particular character that is Oetsu Nimaiya. Overall, one of the best characters in the entire game on release. Started to fall off, as did almost every NAD character. But to be fair, he is still one of the better NAD characters in the entire game, just with a few drawbacks. Drawbacks that this particular resurrection does actually fix. While it's true I'm not perfectly satisfied with his resurrection, I still think it is a good upgrade nonetheless. Just could have been a tad bit better, which we'll talk about when the resurrection does come in less than 2 days' time. Next up, we have Ichibe himself, who easily would have been my favorite character in the entire game. I mean, Ichibe is such a cool character. Unfortunately, he was relegated to just being a Brave Battle character, which of course not everyone's really excited about on initial release. We kind of accepted it, but there was a lot to complain, especially because of the fact that this is his first character in the entire game, and we didn't know when he would next receive a new character, right? Obviously, as of right now, 3 years later, he still hasn't received a new character, but that time will eventually come up, because he is about to get his big moment in the 1000-year Blood War anime. So I would probably expect a new Ichibe in like the next 7 or so months. Either way though, this character still looks great. His SA3 is this particular attack that I kind of forgot the name of, but really cool. His other attacks, obviously referencing stuff that he does do in the manga. The black ink effect looks really cool. Still one of the more beautiful looking naturings in the entire game. Like, it just looks great. His model again also looks great too, right? His SA2 was like a beam forwards. And I just loved playing with this character, even though he was a Brave Battle character, since like because his Zanpakuto is so cool too, being the brush, which fun enough was in the game prior to his character, that being the editing brushes that we do use to reroll accessories. Now, while there of course was disappointment that he was a Brave Battle character, there was still some excitement because Brave Battles was something that we still have to play daily, right? Especially back in like 2019. And he was a hard counter to someone like Oetsu, who was absolutely running rampant in Brave Battles, since he was the hard counter to Yachi Unohana, who was also one of the better characters in Brave Battles at the time. But going into the final stage, let's use his soul bomb. Man, is that such a cool soul bomb. Even to this day, 4 years later, still one of my favorites. It has lost its novelty a bit because we have seen it for the last 3 or so years, but the excitement and just joy we felt seeing Ichibe in action for the first time with a really cool looking soul bomb, that was something you could only experience in Bleach Brave Souls back in 2019. BBS did a lot for the Bleach community, and it was really cool to see stuff like this in the game for the first time. And last and maybe least, we have Orihime. Again, kind of like the wild card for this particular selection. I don't think many people were disappointed by her addition. It was just fun that it included her alongside Squad Zero characters. But personally, I thought this character was great. Personally, I love the design of this Orihime. So seeing it in game definitely got me, pretty excited. Not in that way. But I think some initial disappointment from this character came from the fact that she was a power hollow killer. At the time, we just recently had, 1000 Year Blood War Nemu, who was one of the best characters in the entire game. And a support character like this Orihime would never really compete with an absolute powerhouse that was Nemu. And even at the time, people were still using Toshiro, for example. Despite that, I think she had some great visuals. Her SA1 not really being the greatest even back then. That's what hurt the character too. Her SA2 being a shield and also barrier was really cool. Maybe the first of its kind. Don't quote me on that. I believe it might have been. Personally, I was really hoping for a boost shield and barrier, which we still yet to actually receive. But overall, this Orihime was just a great addition for Orihime fans. She was a solid character by all means. And she was a good support character, which at the time, considering that, no character was really clearing content, especially co-op content in like 30, 40 seconds, support characters were still valuable. And to be fair, even nowadays they still are, but nowadays support characters have the capabilities of also being really good damage dealers. Back in 2019, a support character like this was strictly a support character while doing maybe some respectable amount of damage, but not in the lives of actual damage dealers. She was probably one of the more forgettable characters though, since again she was a power hollow killer, there was a lot of competition, and then I believe, 7 months later, we then eventually get 5th anniversary Ichigo, who completely changed the game. Having said that, using her soul animation, again, I just really like this soul animation. It's always cool when they include 2 characters, and it was really cool to see that big moment of Orihime included alongside with Ichigo. I don't think she got shafted, she was definitely good, but again, given her support nature, she wasn't really talked about all too much a few months later. But with her new resurrection, while it isn't going to make it anything super OP, does make it even better support. She picks up Havoc, gets more damage output, really good soul trait, and becomes a better support character since she now provides herself with a 5-hit barrier and a 3-hit barrier for your teammates. Either way though, that was the video for today. Hope you guys did enjoy it. In the comments below, let me know if you guys have any stories about these characters. For me, all I remember most importantly was that this banner did introduce the guaranteed 5-star on step 5 on the individuals, and it was because of that I was able to actually get Oetsu. We've come a long way since then, in terms of characters, visuals, and of course also banner formats themselves. But this was a great banner in Bleach Brave Souls, and again, the circumstance leading up to the event was kind of funny because everything just got leaked. We had a lot of leaks back then in 2019. Kind of glad that that's kind of a thing in the past, because the reveals are always more exciting when we don't know what is coming up. Either way though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.
Zanpakuto, love it!